You just heard Serrated Knife. That is another one where you're really playing around with the jazziness. This time, I feel like you're trying to emphasize the sudden, sharp cutting motions uh, in both in both the lyrics and the delivery. Um, why the word serrated knife? What is it about that kind of knife?
Well, it's something that a friend of mine said one time. She said that uh, being around this person was like living with being around a serrated knife. And I thought that was brilliant because yeah, it is a very specific kind of knife. Um, it's really sharp in those parts, but it's like over time, right? You kind of it's like something you kind of saw with um and uh and and I just thought it was a brilliant thing to say, like um that. And I will say too, at the time I was living with someone for the first time ever after living alone for a long time. Um, and it wasn't like a serrated knife, but I was just thinking on these things. And uh, so yeah, it's like you waking up every day and being that close with somebody else, and sort of I mean, this particular situation is possibly a toxic one, but but uh, but it just um is kind of sawing at you over time, right? And you can feel the little sharp bits. Um, the thing about this song, though, and I don't know how obvious it is, but at the end of the song, the realization is that I was the serrated knife. And so, I think for me, it was kind of, it's really easy when you're living with somebody or when you're really close with somebody to look at them and say, well, you're doing this, this, and this. Um, but then, at least for me, inevitably I'll realize that I'm the problem, you know. So
Well,
that's
I
that
don't think
song.
I don't think that's how relationships necessarily work. I feel like usually if you're wondering who the problem is in a situation that isn't entirely right, it's probably a little bit of everyone contributing.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I will say I'm not an easy person to live with, probably.
Well, that's perfectly fair. Yeah, I definitely like the notion of the sawing, the particularly grinding way that this cut is going. But I also sort of appreciate that at one point in this relationship, it seems as though everything was pretty good, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, there was definitely yeah, there was good good stuff for sure.
And then it just sort of grinds away.
Yes, I would say I never saw it as being I saw the relationship as always having both things, you know, that you can have those beautiful moments and like total elation, and then also have these aspects that are grinding away, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say you did include some fairly complimentary notes on it as well. there's nothing simple about what's going on in that song.
Yes, a very complicated relationship, this one, yeah.
All right. Um, so I appreciate the way I appreciate the way you're playing with sound and everything, and just getting into that vintage style in a way that you know. Do you feel for? I guess I'll put this question to you. Do you feel for the musicians of that era who maybe couldn't uh release their songs that got as raunchy as they wanted to, or just all the kind of modern nuance and liberation?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have never felt restricted in my creative output by anyone outside myself. Um and and I think that's really important as a creative person to be able to, well, I think every person's a creative person. I shouldn't say that. But for us to be able to express all aspects of ourselves and to be able to hold all parts of ourselves, which is not an easy thing to do, you know. But yes, I do think that there definitely and still are um artists who are expected to be quite polished, um and have to fit into a role, which is the whole kind of theme of the album. And I do feel lucky to not have that.
Yeah, when you're expressing yourself on an album, uh, um, House of Bela Lugosi, first of all, how did he get dragged into this?
Well, I it was there's a line in the song Rosie. I
No, I'm
think
just
that
trying to figure out how he got dragged into this.
yes, it's a great question. I think that that line came first. Um, Color me Bella Lugosi, I'm longing to be in that castle in the air. And and then it really got me thinking on, you know, the theme of the album. And he was very much in my mind at the time for some reason. But but I think there's he's a great symbol of the things that I was exploring in this album because you know, talk about getting like kind of put into a role and defined by a role.
Oh yeah, he more or less held his role for most of his life, just monster after monster.
Monster after monster. I don't know how he felt about that. It might have been exactly what he wanted, you know. But but I thought that's what I was kind of pondering, and and I was thinking about how we all maybe grapple with that to some extent in our lives. Maybe not as clear cut as that as his, but
Yeah, he certainly did play a role. I imagine it's somewhat easier to play a role like that on the screen and then play the role of beloved celebrity character actor off screen. But even then, he certainly had an interesting end to his life. You know, being half out of it, uh, desperate enough to take work from Ed Wood, being recast because he died halfway through one of the worst movies ever made. Uh, I don't know. Quite a character, quite a character.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Kate. I'd like to wrap up by having you pick one more song for me other than the one you're going to get back to me with later. Um,
All right. Yeah, yeah.
can can you pick something that feels like an updated standard for today? Something jazzy but modern at the same time.
Oh, like someone else's song.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Um,
No pressure.
that's uh it feels fresher off the top of my head. Um, Jazzy but modern. Okay. Oh, you know who? Okay. It's I'm gonna look it up here real quick. This song is called New Attitude. Um, yeah. Yeah, okay. Tiana Esperanza is the singer's name.
All right.
And the song is Buy You a New Attitude.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Trevor. Great questions.